Hello everybody, welcome back to Sin City Living. This is our dice class. For those of you that are not aware, I used to be a dice instructor at a dealing school, and I have decided to go and take the full class, or at least 98% of it that I used to teach, and put it out here for you guys. So I had it broken down into 4 phases, and this right here would be phase 3, as we've already posted phase 1 and phase 2. So phase 3 is putting it all together. Now, typically with phase 3, what I'm about to show you here is kind of spread throughout 2 or 3 weeks, because phase 3 is where the students just play the game and they alternate around who's dealing, and they're only focused on this portion right here. Phase 4 will then include the center action, and they will continue to just play the game and practice that way. But along with phase 3, and the real core part of it, are stick calls and how it all gets put together. So everything that we've learned through phase 1 through phase 2, that all deals with base dealing. Has nothing to do with the center action, but it covers all of base dealing. And we have covered everything from the pass line to the don't pass, to the field, to the come, to the don't come, to the numbers themselves. And to place bets, to the come bets, to the don't come bets, lays, odds, we have covered it all. Paying, we've covered totaling. So now we look at what order do they go in. Order of operations is extremely important in craps. Extremely, extremely, extremely important. And we've covered a whole lot of it already as far as what order you pay when you come to a specific thing. But now let's look at what happens with everything. So we're going to start off with the point off. Now, keep in mind that a lot of times, maybe a little bit more than half the time, this right here will be completely blank on a come out roll, because it follows a 7 out, and the field, the entire table has been cleaned up. However, it is possible, even after a 7 out, that you do have bets like this. Not necessarily back here. Back here you would have your direct lays with their commission, instead of having don't comes with the lays, but everything else can certainly be here. Even after a 7 out, people can go ahead and do put bets for the come and put those in there. And of course they can put their place bets on. Most of the time they're not going to be working, but they can of course choose to have them working should they want. But then a little bit less than half the time, your board is going to look similar to this, where we have a come out roll, but it's actually after a winner has been made. And if you've been paying attention, you could probably guess that the winner was an 8. The point was an 8 because there's no place bets. Okay, it is actually possible to have come bets. They're not likely to have odds, although some players are going to go ahead and put their odds, even though the odds are not working on the come out roll. Because again, when this puck says off, everything up here that can be turned off is turned off. So let's take a look. Now, we're going to start off with the crap numbers. We're going to start off with, we're going to start off with the crap numbers, and then the 11 to finish out, round out the horn numbers. And then we're going to go down to the individual numbers. So let's take a look at what can happen. So the order of operations and the stick calls are identical. Every so often there's something that is not in the stick call that does need to be done, but for the most part the stick call is what tells you what to do. So let's say the dice roll and we get a 2. 2 crap 2. 2 crap 2, the stick call is line away, don'ts to pay, double the field, because the 2 does not affect anything up here. Now again, we want to take losers first, so therefore the stick call, 2 crap 2, line away. Always come back to your stacks because you don't want to pay with dirty money. Don'ts to pay, and then double the field. Always size in, folks. So 2 crap 2, line away, don'ts to pay, double the field. There you go. That's it. Nice and easy. Now for 3 rolls, 3 crap 3, line away, stacks, don'ts to pay, single the field. Line away, don'ts to pay, single the field. And then we've got the 12. 12 crap 12, line away, bar the don'ts, triple the field. Line away, Bar the don'ts, triple the field. And now let's take a look at the 11, and then I'm going to talk about the horn numbers by themselves in their totality. So if an 11 rolls, yo 11 roll, yo 11 yo, always start out with yo. When you do your stick calls, you always start with the number and end with the number within the first 3 words or phrases. You start and end with the number and then something in between that's more of a descriptor. With the 11, however, you start, it's yo 11 yo. The 11, the word 11 is actually in between as the descriptor. The yo is really the number that we are calling. The reason for that is because in a loud casino, 7 and 11 sound very, 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 very similar. So you don't want to be doing the 7 stuff when the roll was actually an 11. So yo 11 yo. Yo 11 yo, take the don'ts, pay the line, single the field. Take the don'ts, pay the line, single the field. Yo 11 yo. Take the don'ts, pay the line, single the field. So, the horn numbers, they don't impact anything up here. Nothing up here. They only deal with these 3 things. Those 3 things, and we talk about what we take, what we pay, and then what happens with the field. In that order, what do we take, what do we pay, and we're dealing with the pass line, and don't pass first. What do we take, what do we pay, and then pay the field. And then it's just a matter of how we pay the field. Single the field, 3s and 11s, double the field, 2s, triple the field, 12. Some places it will be double the field, so in some places it will be 12, crap 12, line away, don'ts to pay, triple the field, or double the field. Now after that, we now get to the numbers. And they boil down to just a few things that are applicable. Basically, you're always going to mark the point. That's the first thing. Second thing is any losers. You start with the don'ts, then you go with the field. So you're going to mark the point. You go down behind, because the behind numbers lose, so they come down behind. Pay or take the field. Then you deal with your come bets. Okay? So, the stick call, let's say an 8 were to roll. Okay? Because we've already had an 8 roll once. So let's say an 8 were to roll. So, 8, easy or hard. 8, easy 8, or 8, hard 8. Okay, the easy or hard is your descriptor for the 4, the 6, the 8, and the 10. The even numbers, if it can't come hard, then easy or hard is your descriptor. So 8, easy 8, or 8, hard 8. 8, easy 8, mark the 8, down behind the 8. No field. 8, easy 8, mark the 8, down behind, no field, right? So you mark it, always make sure this says no to you. Then you go to your come bets. So you know the odds are off unless they had chosen and specifically asked to have them work. So now we come around, nothing for position 1 or position 2. So we come out of position 3 and we do our usual, we pinch it off so we don't separate it, bring them out, just lift your odds, size in, drop your odds down. Then you come back to the next one, bring it out, size in, drop it down, boom, you are done. At this point, they can place odds, they can make a lay, they can make a new field bet if they so choose, or they can do come bets, don't come bets, whatever they want. So let's look at the 9. Because the 5 and 9, it's either going to be 5, no field 5, because it's not in the field, or 9, center field 9, because it's in the middle. Okay? 5, no field 5, or 9, center field 9. Right? Let me put some more field out there. So, 9, center field 9, mark the 9, down behind the 9. You already said center field, so you don't need to say the field again. So 9, center field 9, mark the 9, down behind. Anything beyond that, they already know. The come bet they need to deal with, so we'll bring it out, size in, drop it down, bring it out, size in, drop it down. Now, your stick call and your order of operations is complete. However, at this point, the dealer does need to ask the players, would you like to move your place bet? Because they most likely have a pass line bet. So where would you like to move your 9? If they have all the numbers, if they've been going across, the obvious thing is you just go, would you like to go to the 8? Yes, go ahead and drop me $2. And they'll throw you in $2 and you go ahead and place it down. Right? Same thing over here. What would you like to do with your 9? Would you like to move over to the 8? Sure, drop me $3. They throw in $3, boom. There you go. And now once again, they can make their odds, make their lays, whatever they wish to do. New come bets, new don't come bets. So, and I'm not going to sit here and do every single number because I want to have a sufficient number of bets for the final piece. So, same thing with the 6. 6 hard 6 or 6 easy 6. 6 hard 6. Mark the 6 down behind the 6. No field. So you'll mark it, you'll go down behind, you'll take the field, then you'll pay your come bets, then you'll ask where they want to move the remaining place bets. 5, no field 5, mark the 5, down behind, and you're done. You don't have to say no field again because you said 5, no field 5. So you'll mark it down behind, take the field, pay your come bet flat bets, and then ask where they want to move the 9. 4 and 10, very easy. 4 easy 4, mark the 4, down behind, good field. 4 easy 4, mark the 4, down behind, good field. Then you're going to pay your come bets. Then you're going to ask where they want to move their 4 to their place bets too. So for the 10, same thing. 10, hard 10, or easy. 10, hard 10, mark the 10, down behind the 10, good field. And then you're done. You mark it, down behind, good field. Now the dealer still needs to deal with the come bets. So they'll deal with the come bets and they'll ask the person where they want to move their place bets to. But the stick call itself will be over. 10, hard 10, mark the 10, down behind, good field. That's it. It's the 7 that gets a little bit tricky. Okay? So the 11, and the yo 11 yo could also be called as yo winner yo on the come out roll, yo winner yo. But I don't really hear that very often. I'm not a big fan of that one. Now we get to the 7, and the 7 gets kind of complex. It's one of the longer stick calls on a come out roll. One of the longer stick calls just about anywhere. So when a 7 occurs on a come out roll, again, you look at the order of operations, and we're going outside in for the most part. First, you take anything that loses, then you pay the winners. Okay. So on a 7 winner, don't pass, of course, loses. So we're going to take the don't pass. Now the field is not mentioned, but the field needs to be swept up after you sweep up your don't passes. Not during. You don't alternate between the two. You take the don't passes, then you take the field. Then you come back to your working stacks. The front line wins, so you'll pay the 7. After that, you deal with losers first, then winners. Now you're up in here. Because while the odds may be off on the come bets, the flat bets are working. That's why you pay them if they hit. So the flat bets are working. They can never be turned off because they're contract bets. So now you're going to return all, and I'm going to show you this part. We're going to return all the odds. Then we're going to take down the flat bets. After that, you're going to go ahead and pay behind. So the full stick call is 7 winners 7. Take the don'ts, pay the line. All working bets have action, save odds, pay behind. 7 winners 7. Take the don'ts, pay the line. All working bets have action, pay behind. That is the full stick call. Again, 7 winners 7. Take the don'ts, pay the line. All working bets have action, pay behind. So 7 winners 7. Take the don'ts. And again, it's not mentioned, but I need to take the field. Take the don'ts, pay the line. All working bets have action, save odds. Okay? 7 winners 7. Take the don'ts, pay the line. All working bets have action, save odds, pay behind. So, saving odds. You're going to do this one person at a time, and you're going to go from stick to base. So I looked down at my come bets. I don't have anybody at all in position number 1 or 2, so I'm going to skip straight to spot 3. And I'm going to take their odds, and I'm going to put it out in the come, glance down. I've gotten all of their odds. So now, I'm going to stack them all up, and with my outside hand, I'm going to return their odds, healed off, because we always hand them healed off. Now I'm going to go to the next player. I'm not going to clean it up yet, because I want to get all these odds out of here first. So nothing in 4, 5, or 6, so I go to position 7. Same thing, I'm going to pull all of their odds out there, stack them all up, and hand them off, healed off behind the pass line. Now I visually double check real fast. Sweet, got them all. There are no odds left. So now I'm going to clean up all of the come bets. Next, pay behind. So paying behind, where do we start? We start closest to the dealer. So I'm going to be starting here with position 7-ish. So he bridged everything. Makes it really easy. So I'm just going to hit the butt twice, size in twice, clear my hands, then I'm going to stack everything up. In their position. Alright, no 4, no 5. Let's get a little full over here. I'm going to switch hands because luckily I'm in the neutral area. No 6, no 10. I could do 2 stacks if I wanted to. This is actually sufficient for me to send out as 1 stack. Obviously I'm not going to heal that off because it would fall over. Next, I'm going to go to the other don't come player. So, 30 pays 15, size in. 30 pays 25, size in. 30 pays 20, and size in. And then over here, just size in. I must have forgotten a leg. Clear my hands, stack it all up. Again, you don't have to stack it up by color. You can certainly hand them a ring. You want to do what's most efficient. I'm doing it this way just because it's going to be easier for me to clean it up later. No 4, no 5, no 6, no 10, and then I hand it off. And there you go, that's your 7. That's your winner 7. Place bets stay up because they're off. There you guys go. Those are the stick calls while the point is off, and the order of operations while the point is off. We'll have point on coming up soon. Thanks guys, bye now. So now, let's take a look at when the point is on. When the point is on. Now this time around, I'm not going to enact every single thing. Not this time around. You guys already know how to do each piece of it. I don't need to show you how we pay. I don't need to show you how we take the field. I don't need to show you any of that. So we're just going to discuss how this is going to go. Alrighty. So, now the point does not necessarily matter as far as the stick calls go, as long as you understand the order of operations. So first I'm going to talk about the horn numbers. Let's talk about the horn numbers. So the horn numbers, we are doing just like when the point is off. It's just like when the point is off, only we're substituting a couple of small words because while the point is marked, the pass line and don't pass are not affected. However, what are new pass and don't pass? Come and don't comes. So we're just going to swap some verbiage for those particular bets. So for instance, if a 2 rolls, when the point is off, it's line away, don'ts to pay, double the field. When the point is on, it's come away, don'ts to pay. You're just going to say don'ts to pay. Should know that it's the DC. Come away, don'ts to pay, double the field. You just say come in. By hearing come, you should know that it's the don't come. So come away, don'ts to pay, double the field. Same thing with the 3. Come away, don'ts to pay, single the field. What about a 12? Pretty obvious. Come away, don'ts to pay, triple the field. Or double, if it's at a double house. And same thing with the 11. Yo, 11, yo, take the don'ts. Pay the come. And pay the field. Now the more common yo, 11, yo stick call here actually completely ignores the don't come. The dealer should know. Again, not everything is in the stick calls. The most common yo 11 yo stick call, and the standard-ish one, is yo 11 yo. Good field, good come. Good field, good come. You take the don'ts, you pay the field, you pay the come. And because it's in that order. Good field, good come. Good field, good come. Pay the field, then pay the come. Now, as far as the numbers go, again, if it's an even number, you have to mention whether it's easy or it's hard. And then outside of that, you may or may not mention the field, because again, not everything is mentioned. May or may not mention the field. And you'll talk about the come bets and the don't come bets. Always talk about the losers first. So if a 4 were to roll, 4 easy, 4 down behind, because that loses. 4 easy, 4 down behind, good field, don'ts and comes, travel. 4 easy, 4 down behind, good field, don'ts and comes, travel. And it's said in that order because the don'ts travel first. All the don't comes travel first. Then you travel the come bets. You notice it doesn't mention anything about place bets. Never does. You should know that you pay the place bets. When do you pay the place bets? Last. So 4, easy 4, down behind, good field, don'ts and comes travel. So while you're traveling, remember you're also paying. So don'ts and comes travel just means take care of the comes, take care of the don'ts. So you'll travel the don'ts. With the comes, you're going to do just like you were taught. You're going to go in order. You may go in order. You may travel 1, then pay 1, then travel 1, then pay 1, have an off and on. Then after that, you're going to pay the place bets. Okay? What about the 5? Well, 5, no field 5. 5, no field 5. Down behind the 5. Actually forgot the lays. Not that it really matters, but forgot the lays. So 5, no field 5. Down behind. You already said no field, so they shouldn't have to be told. Don'ts and comes travel. 5, no field 5. Down behind. Don'ts and comes travel. There you go. You're done. 5, no field 5. Down behind. Don'ts and comes travel. After that, you pay your place bets. 6, hard 6. Down behind the 6. No field. Don'ts and comes travel. Notice they're all the same. You say the number, you say down behind, you say whether or not it wins in the field, and you say don'ts and comes travel. Those 4 things, in that order, that's every stick call if it's not the point. 6, hard 6, down behind the 6, no field, don'ts and comes travel. Boom, you're done. And then after you've traveled and dealt with the come bets, now you deal with the place bets. They, again, are last. 8, easy 8, down behind the 8, no field, don'ts and comes travel. You're done. 8, easy 8, down behind the 8, no field, don'ts and comes travel. If the 9 were not the point, then it'd be 9, center field 9, down behind the 9, don'ts and comes travel. You don't have to mention the field because you said center field. You already said that it's in the field. 9, center field 9, down behind the 9, don'ts and comes travel. Boom, you're done. 10, easy 10 or hard 10. Down behind the 10, good field, don'ts and comes travel. 10, hard 10, down behind, good field, don'ts and comes travel. Say good field, pay the field, signal field, whatever you want to say. But 10, hard 10, down behind the 10, good field, don'ts and comes travel. Then you pay the place bets. Now, what if it's a winner? Now we have the 9 marked, but it does not matter which point is actually marked. Just stick to what you know and follow again the order of operations. So, if the point were a 9, then it's pretty easy. 9, winner, 9. You no longer say easy, hard, you say winner. You don't say center field or no field, you say winner. 9, winner, 9. Winner should be the second thing they hear after the number. 9, winner, 9. Take the don'ts, pay the line. Generally, you're going to stop there, but you can add the field and travel. 9, winner, 9. Take the don'ts, pay the line, good field, don'ts and comes travel. You can add all that. 9, winner, 9. Take the don'ts, pay the line, good field, don'ts and comes travel. If the point were a 10, 10, winner, 10. You don't have to say easy or hard. Remember, don't have to say it. You will tack it on at the end, but 10, easy 10. Take the 10, winner 10. I'm sorry. 10, winner 10. Take the don'ts, pay the line, don'ts and comes travel. You can add in good field. And then afterwards, you were going to say it. So 10, easy 10, take the don'ts, pay the line, good field, don'ts and comes travel, 10 came easy. So you'll say 10 came easy or 10 came hard. Tack that on at the end. 8, winner 8, take the don'ts, pay the line, no field, don'ts and comes travel. 8 came easy or 8 came hard. 6, winner 6, take the don'ts, pay the line, no field, don'ts and comes travel. 6 came easy. 5, winner 5. Take the don'ts, pay the line, no field, don'ts and comes travel. 4, winner 4. Take the don'ts, pay the line, don'ts and comes travel, good field, and 4 came easy, 4 came hard, whatever it may be. Then you get into the 7. 7's the fun one. 7 out. It's 7 out, 7. Again, you always say every number twice. You hear some dealers just go 7 out or out, 7, 7 out, 7 out. Line away, don'ts to pay. That's your first thing. Line away, don'ts to pay. Last comes get some or pay the comes. line away, don'ts to pay, last comes get some, pay behind. One thing that is not mentioned is the DC. Some people, and there's nothing wrong with this, some people will add sweep the DC, because that's the first thing you do is you sweep the DC into here, because all this loses. So you just sweep into here. And this is one that I'm going to show you part of it, okay, because there's something you do that's slightly different. So 7 out, 7 out, 7, line away. So I'm going to sweep around, line away, don'ts to pay. However, I still need to get the feel, all right? So the first thing I'm going to do, show you the sweep. First thing I'm going to do, 7 winner 7, I'm going to sweep both of these in, line away. Now, don'ts to pay, but you don't pay with dirty money. You can come back to your stacks, but the easiest thing to do is you just drop it right in the middle. Drop it right in the middle, because everything in here is going to get cleaned up. Then I'm going to pay the don'ts, last comes get some, pay behind. So I'm going to pay the don'ts, then I'm going to pay the last comes, then I'm going to pay behind. There we go. 7 out. So that is the order of operations. That is putting everything together. And those are the stick calls. Thank you very, very much, guys. We'll be adding in the midterm exams onto phase 3 as well. So stay tuned for those. Thanks for watching, everybody. Bye now. Okay, guys, so the midterm exams, which usually occurred in between phase 2 and phase 3, or in between phase 3 and phase 4 when I was teaching. Now, we'll get rid of the puck because these are just, basically they're just drills. Now, I'm not going to lay these out for you guys because 2 of them you guys have seen before. In fact, the midterm exams I actually have posted on this channel a while back, so you might be able to just find them under midterm exams. So I don't want to, redo them all over again. Plus, for our sponsors, you've already seen these. They're basically just the drills that you guys have seen on our Patreon. The only one that I really want to talk about in some depth is going to be the drop cutting one. So, the 3 midterm exams. The first one is setting up with the don't comes. Now, the exam actually had 2 parts. Paying it was only 1 part, and paying it was actually the easiest part for most students. There would be 3 don't comes behind every number. There was 1 bridge, and every single one of them had proper lays. The dealer or the student had to pay them in the proper order, base to stick, away from box towards box, hand them off correctly, use the correct hands, everything, hand it off. Then after they did that, if they did that correctly, next came the hardest part for most students. They had to set it back up again. Paying it is kind of easy because the bet is already there in front of you, especially with the bridges, you already know what to pay. Setting it back up, under those restrictions, 3 don't comes per number, only 1 bridge, and the lays have to be proper. What used to trip them up the most were those last 2 things. The proper lays would trip up a lot of students, especially on the 5 and 9, and they would have improper lays, which of course meant that they failed that test. The second thing was 1 bridge per number. While the students would, most of the time, have what appeared to be 1 bridge per number, oftentimes they would have something like this. Let's do it this way. They would have something like this. They'd have 1 bridge, and then they'd have another one healed off, and then they'd have their 3rd bet there. But the thing is, this should be a bridge. Just because it's not bridge doesn't mean it shouldn't be a bridge, which would therefore mean they failed. They didn't have a deep enough understanding of the don'ts to be able to set it up. You actually, in order to set it up, you have to have a better understanding of the don'ts than you do in order to pay it. Which is why this was such an excellent midterm exam. The place bet exam was just like the drill. You set up 1 through 10 units for place bets for, say, the 4. Now, obviously, it becomes a buy at the 5 unit mark. And then you randomly split them up and you put 5 per number in the 4 and 10 in random order. Then you do the same thing for the 5, 1 through 10 units, $5 through $50. randomly split them up, 5 per number, 5 and 9. Then you do the same thing for the 6 and 8, 6 through 60, randomly split them up, do not put them in order, and there you go. Now, at that point, you would start the timer. This was a timed drill. They would start the timer, and they had to pay properly, cut it out into the cum, pay with the correct hand, behind the pass line, in the correct position, heeled off, all of those things. They would pay, they would start at either the 4 or the 10, didn't matter which direction they wanted to sweep, right? They'd pay all the 4s, and they'd pay all the 5s, and they'd pay all the 6s, and you would have just this stack of payouts starting to build up. What was the time frame? 5 minutes. 5 minutes. 5 minutes to pay them all. That included restocking your working stacks because you would run out. 5 minutes. There are 30 bets. That means 10 seconds per bet. That is more than enough time. The reason we made these time frames, along with the third one I'm going to show you in just a moment, for these midterm exams is because they are basically 3 to 4 times how long it takes for an experienced dealer to be able to do the same things. But these time frames are also what I would say is minimal acceptable level for a break-in casino. So if you can do these drills in the passing time frame, you actually have the minimum skill set, the minimal skill set in order to work at a break-in casino. There, you would be able to deal at most break-in casinos. They have more patience and they have more of an expectation of the dealers to move a little bit slower because they're break-ins, they're new. So what that means is that 10 seconds per bet, and that includes everything from cutting it out properly and moving your hands to stacking it up, proper hand, to handing it off, heeled off, and going on to the next bet. Oh, and calculating the payout in your head, of course, if you still have to. You shouldn't have to if you've been doing your drills. That 10 seconds, really it cuts down to about 2 to 3 seconds for an experienced dealer. When we say 5 minutes to do all of these, an experienced dealer can do it in between a minute to a minute and a half. Absolute worst case, outside something happens, 2 minutes. 2 minutes. Which is why, and it seems daunting, and my students, they start out and oftentimes they're doing this in 6, 7, 8, 9 minutes, only because they had not been doing their drills. The ones that have been doing their drills throughout their class would be able to nail this one from the get-go. Now, the last one, and the one that would frustrate my students the most. You would, in order, you would set up, you would mark a point, a random point. I will always say the 4 or the 10. Okay? We'll do the 4. You're going to set up 1, 2, 3, and 4 units. I'm not going to worry about 5 units. You're going to set up 1, 2, 3, and 4 units. You're going to set up 27 across, 54 across, 81 across, and 108 across. You're going to do them in order, properly. And by properly, I mean you start off away from big box towards box. And you're going to finish them. You're not going to set up all the red first for 27, 54, 81, and 108. You're not just going to stack up all your reds first, then go back and do the whites. No, you're going to finish each player. You're going to finish each person. And you're going to drop cut. If the dealers were doing this, what we call the peel-off method, as soon as they started, I would tell them, you can go ahead and stop because you're not going to pass. It would not even matter what the time frame is if they hit the time frame. They are not going to pass. Also, the time does not stop until the bets are neat. Basically, the bets have to be the level that the dealer could just stand back and wait as we continued on with the roll, which means that, you know, if they're in this big hurry, you know, and they're some of their bets look like this because they're in this big hurry as they're setting it up, they're not done. Just because they set up all the bets, if they look like this, they're not done. They still are going to have to go back and square them off, get the caps if they have caps on the 6 and 8, and make them neat. Then the time would stop. So, what was the time frame for this? And you guys are probably thinking, I don't know, minute and a half, 2 minutes. Time frame for this was 45 seconds. 45 seconds. You're going to do it properly. You're going to use both hands. Now, when you're doing, say, the 108, you don't have to have, I mean, obviously, if you're doing 27 across, you're just going to pick up red and white. But if you're doing, say, the 108, there's nothing wrong with picking up red in both hands. Do all the red first, then do your white. Okay, but 45 seconds was the passing grade for this. This is one that I'm going to show you something. I'm actually waiting for my timer to run down, so 10 seconds from now I'm going to show you something. I'm going to do this drill with one hand. And I'm going to show you. So I'm going to start in 2, 1, here we go. 27 across. Again, I'm doing this with one hand. I'm doing this, by the way, with my offhand. If I was doing this with my right hand, it'd be even faster. 54. Notice I'm making an effort to make sure I put them in the same position. If they're not in the same position, it doesn't count. Next, 81. And next, 108. Again, my offhand. If I was using my good hand, it'd be even faster. And done. And done. One-handed, my offhand, that was 40 seconds. If I use both hands, and I'm trying to go quick, so that's why the 45-second time frame. Every single one of these midterm exams, I tested myself and multiple experienced dealers and timed us, and then tripled or quadrupled the time it took us, and that was the time frame. That was the acceptable passing grade. So both hands on this, generally speaking, most experienced dealers can do it between 15 to 20 seconds, generally speaking. There are exceptions, and sometimes your hands just don't want to work, but 45 seconds is easy, as I just showed you using my offhand and one-handed. So there you guys go. Those are the midterm exams. If you can pass these, you would be ready to move on to the next phase. Thanks for watching, everybody. We'll catch you next time. Bye now.